Contribute soap. Sharon Horne-Ellstrom here. Let's contribute some soap today. We have been talking about the soap framework for 26 days or so now. Maybe not the soap framework exactly, but we've been getting ready to talk about the soap framework. And we've talked about the 7 different areas and aspects of our life. And we are finally down to the final one, the final area or aspect of our life that we want to consider when we're considering all of them. If we want to lead a not balanced life, but a life that's full and wonderful to us, we want to make sure that we are at least paying a little bit of attention to each of those 7 areas of our life. We're to the last one. We've talked about the other 6, and today we're going to talk about contribution. What the heck is contribution? Contribution is how you interact with the rest of the world, with the rest of the community around you, with interacting with other people, places, things outside of yourself. To me, a lot of the things that we've talked about and worked on so far are all what's inside you and dealing with all how they all interact and react with what comes from within us. Contribution, on the other hand, it comes from within us, but it's what are we going to do with the gifts and the actual amazing blessing and gift and miracle that we are? How are we going to use that to interact with the rest of the world? We can use it in a small way, or we can use it in a big way. So we're going to run through the SOAP framework, the same model and framework we've been using for days now to analyze and work on one area or aspect of our life that has to do with contribution. So the first question we need to ask ourselves is, how do I want to interact with the outside world? What is my reason for being here? What is my reason for communicating, interacting, affecting those people and places and things around me? What kind of an effect do I want to have? So our tool today, I want to talk about our tool today, and then I'll hop into the SOAP framework. And I'm going to use my cheat notes that I've already done because I've already started working on my February, what the heck is my contribution? I'm going to sneak a drink of coffee. For some reason, I have a super cloggy throat today. It's just plain strange, but it happens. So what's our tool? This is actually, I don't know, it's a tool I didn't discover that long ago, but it's really, really powerful. And you can call it whatever you want. It can be your mantra, your motto, your code of conduct, how you behave, how you show up in the world, your battle cry. When my daughter and son-in-law were naming and deciding on a name for their baby, one of the things they came up with was Valencia. Now, they didn't name her Valencia. She was born a few weeks ago, and they named her Quinlan Rose, but they said Valencia. And if she was born with red hair like my daughter, they're like, we're naming her Valencia because it's a battle cry. My son-in-law thinks it sounds like a battle cry, something that you charge forward with. And of course, I'm sure their daughter will be a little go-getter, so that worked out. That would have been a fitting name. But Quinlan Rose is a perfect name for her. She's a beautiful little baby. But what do you stand for? What and who do you stand for? Who will you stand up for? Who will you protect? Who do you want to help? Who do you want to interact with? These are some of the things we're talking about as we decide how are we going to add value to the world. How do I want to show up in the world, interact with it, and how do I really want to contribute in a positive way and add value? I don't know that anyone, and maybe people do, but I don't know that anyone sets out in their life and says, I want to negatively impact my environment. I want to negatively impact the world. But I think what happens is in their desire to make a better life for themselves, they don't realize all the consequences. And so they end up creating negative impacts in the world when I think all of us really go out and we want to just make a better life for ourselves and those we love and care about. And some people just want to get through this life, get through the world. We want to go another level deeper, and we want to actually positively impact the world around us. If you don't feel that way, probably you're not listening to me, or you don't resonate with me and don't want to hear anything I have to say about contributing to the world. And you definitely wouldn't have listened to the Get Up and Go Challenge today, 27, if that's how you feel. So I'm just going to assume that we all want to make the world a better place. We all want to have a positive impact on the world. And again, whether it's a positive impact on ourselves and how we show up and our well-being, or our families, our friends, those we love and care about, those people close to us, or on the world as a whole, that's entirely up to you. So let's start looking at our SOAP framework and asking ourselves, and then your homework's going to have something to do with the tool, right? But what are some things we can ask ourselves about our story, our situation? What is our current story and situation? Talk to yourself, ask yourself, how am I showing up in the world? And with COVID, hey, we're all showing up in the world very differently than we did a year ago, right? Aren't we showing up today differently and doing different things and interacting with people in different ways than we did a year ago? I know I absolutely positively am. Some of those ways I was doing, but I've either done a whole lot more of Zoom calls and internet meetings and things and Facebook meetings than I did prior to 2020, things like that. That's how I'm showing up and interacting and engaging with people still. So what is something and what are you doing that causes you to interact with anybody outside of you? Maybe your family, maybe you're doing different things with your family and your family is in this position and you want to get them there. Maybe you're contributing or donating time or money or resources of any shape or form to a charity. Maybe you like to help out at the Humane Society on a regular basis or at a food shelf or something. And that's what you're doing now. Or maybe you're not doing anything right now. Maybe you are just hunkered down with your family trying to figure out and navigate your way through COVID. Whatever it is, that is you making a positive difference in the world. You positively finding solutions to problems for the people you love and care about is a huge positive contribution to the world. I think we talked about spirituality yesterday, and I personally believe that we're all connected. And so if we do something that positively impacts any group of people, including ourselves, from getting to be a better human being standpoint, we're positively rippling out and affecting the rest of the world. So where are you now with respect to contribution, and where do you want to be? Right now, since the beginning of COVID-19, have been doing this challenge. I've been doing this 30-plus day challenge. This is our 6th one, and I've done some smaller challenges along the way, solely for the purpose of giving back and adding value, helping people to guarantee that they have a better way to handle challenges and changes, and that every time they're impacted by a challenge and change, they're guaranteed to be better off than before that change or challenge happened to them. I want people to have continually improving better and better and better lives. So that's what I'm doing right now. Well, what do I want to be doing? What do I really want to be doing? As I'm looking at, well, this is my story, this is my situation right now, but what is my ultimate desire for how I want to contribute to the world? I have and wanted to for a while now positively impact the lives of 1 billion people. I know that sounds outrageous to almost everyone, but I want to make sure that through the rest of my life, I find a way to positively impact and empower 1 billion people to live their life as absolutely positively who they are, to show up exactly as who they are. For example, teddy bears in my background. I don't know anybody else that shows up and has actually teddy bears in the background of their videos. Now, I've had books and I've had all different things, and I've had cards and sayings. If you've followed me at all over the last 3 years, I've had a lot of different backgrounds and frameworks. Backgrounds. And this one, it just happens to be what I'm using right now. Why? Because guess what? Teddy bears are me. I collected teddy bears for decades, and then I kind of stopped collecting them because I realized I didn't have a place for them. Probably somebody told me I shouldn't collect teddy bears anymore, so I stopped doing it back when I was influenced by other people. But now I'm like, hey, I still like teddy bears. I always kept the ones that I really, really liked, and I display a few of them every once in a while because they show a little bit about my personality and the things that are important to me, like love and caring and about one another, nurturing relationships. And so I happen to like teddy bears. I have teddy bears on my bed. I have teddy bears around my house because they just make me smile. And we need to surround ourselves with things that make us smile, because when we're happy and smiling and putting out positive energy, guess what? That's impacting and contributing to the world in a positive way. So where am I now? Where do I want to be? As far as number of people impacting, not anywhere near 1 billion, not even anywhere near 1 million. So how am I gonna get there? We start to look at our O for options in our SOAP framework. What are some of the ways I can fill this gap? Because it's a mighty big gap, right? And I don't know about you, but I honestly didn't consciously think about contribution until probably I was 50 years old. Now, I was creating businesses, I was running businesses, I was adding value to the world, I'd like to think in a mostly positive way, but I was doing it on a subconscious level. I wasn't doing it on purpose. It wasn't until I turned 50 that I started thinking about, well, what the heck am I really doing? Why the heck am I really here? And how and who do I want to interact with and impact through the rest of my life? I had a huge wake-up call, and that was the opportunity for me to say, okay, hold the phone. This stuff up till 50 hasn't been working so well. It's been a little positive, but you're here to do so much more. What are you going to do with that? So that's when I started to consciously focus on, okay, what am I going to do? How am I going to add value? Who do I want to be? Who do I want to become before I leave this planet once and for all? Or I guess twice and for all. For all. Once for the for all part. So what are my options? What are my possibilities to fill this gap? Well, I brainstorm a bunch of those. I can say I could create a group that attracts the people that feel the same way that I do, which is part of why I want to share my mantra and my motto and my code of conduct and my battle cry or my call to action. What is it that I'm trying to create in the world? If I share that with people, I will attract people that have a similar desire to me, and together we can accomplish a whole lot more than little old me on my own. So we come up with a bunch of ideas. How you decide to come up with ideas is entirely up to you. But I say I use the rule of thumb 10 and 3. I want to have at least 10 ideas written down. I so believe in the power of writing things down. So I want to have at least 10 things written down, and I want to be able to look at 3 of those or think about 3 of those that are something that I feel like I can act upon. And remember, we've done for our A, our action, we've talked about the plus and minus. We've talked about urgent, important, resources required, energy required, ease of being able to implement or take the action. And resources include people. Do I need other people to help me, or can I take an action on this right now? And so then we're going to pick the one thing that we're going to do an action for. And I said, I'm going to build a framework and apply it to one of the groups that I already serve, either people with chronic pain, business owners. And I've done that, but I'm going to continue to work toward doing that until I get the framework that just feels 100% right to me, and then I'll explode that out to hopefully positively impact, not hopefully, to impact positively 1 billion people in the world and in the planet. And then our P is, how do I know? How will I know if I'm making progress moving toward that positively impacting lives of 1 billion people or not? Well, how am I going to measure that? Are more people hearing my message? Are more people buying my products and services? Are more people listening to my podcast? Are more people giving me feedback? And from the feedback I'm getting, is it telling me that I'm moving in the direction I want to go, or is it telling me I'm not? So, excuse my throat. I didn't really look at my notes much today. Let's see if I even talked about what I wanted to. Yeah, build a framework, apply it to groups for chronic pain business owners, etc. Am I making a difference? Feedback, feelings. And then part of attracting people to you so that you can have an impact on their life, or so that you can have the contribute in the way you want to, at least me in this example, is by having my motto, sharing my strongly held core beliefs and things that I feel, and being myself, right? Since my sudden cardiac arrest, I have this huge sense of it's critical that I be myself and I show up as who I uniquely am. As weird or quirky or different coffee drinking, slurpy, stumbling on my words person, whoever I am, I show up as that. I just be who I am. And I want other people to know that that is the best way to show up in the world. Why? Because there's no competition. There's nobody but you that is just like you in the world. There's no one like you that can share your gifts and your blessings and your skills and your abilities as only uniquely can with the rest of the world. There's nobody that can experience this life experience, this human life, as you except you. And if we're all connected and we're all contributing to the whole, the energy of us doing that, just being ourselves and showing up in the world and doing what we can, is enough. It's all enough. So my actually motto, or my mantra for a long time, besides be you, has been be loving, love being, be you. That is my personal motto that I live by. I'm working it into and adding it to my businesses and sharing it in things like this Get Up and Go challenge. I do not have a well ferreted out code of conduct yet. I know what I do and what I won't do. I know where that line in the sand is, but I haven't taken the time to actually write down and turn it into a graphic. I will do that as I determine the exact group of people that I am here to serve, that I want to start with. I'm drawn to people with chronic pain because I myself have had chronic pain for the vast majority of my life. Doesn't mean I've stopped and been dead in my tracks or in bed all the time, although I've been there sometimes. It means that I will always get up and go. I will always keep moving and move toward what it is that I want. So I have a great affinity to people with chronic pain, helping them to create the life they want in spite of the chronic pain, maybe because of it, because sometimes our challenges become the motivating force that we need to create the things that we want in the world. So today, all I'd like to do is run through the SOAP framework with something in your life that has to do with contribution that you've got a gap in. So say you want to donate 10% of your maybe your profits to a charity that you feel an affinity to. Maybe your mom or dad died of breast. I don't think your dad died of breast cancer. Maybe your mom died of breast cancer and your dad passed away because of heart conditions. So maybe you want to donate 10% of your income to finding solutions for heart challenges and then finding solutions for breast cancer. Up to you. But say you're only donating 1% right now. How are you going to fill the gap from 1% to 10%? Look at the different options, the different ways of possibly doing that. Pick one, take action on it, and then if it's something that you can, make it into an automatic process in a system so it happens automatically. This is a good one because I can think of how to easily do that. If I want to donate 10% of either my profits or my gross income is a great goal because it's easy to measure and quicker to measure than net profit 10%. I can automatically set aside 10% of all the money that comes into my life, my organization, and I can put it in a special savings account. And then that savings account is only used to make the world a better place, to donate to charities, to do things like that, or help people, places, things that I think are important that fit with how I want to contribute and how I want to make the world a better place. So share in the comments below just your motto or your mantra or one thing that you stand for and believe in so much that you stand up for that. I want to say you die for, but I don't know if people would die for very much more than their kids. I have strong beliefs and strong feelings about a lot of things, but I'm not sure I would trade my life experience for that. I would, on the other hand, trade my life experience for my kids or my grandkids. I absolutely positively would, in a heartbeat, lay my life down for unconditional love of a few key individuals on the planet, right? I wouldn't do it for everybody, every human being, but I will for my human beings, my people. So what is one thing that you stand for, your motto, your mantra, anything you've developed? You can share more than one thing, but just share one thing. So that, or talk about how the SOAP framework worked for you or didn't work for you, applying it to this area or aspect of our life. I shared, I donated to charity and I donated time and I was part of different organizations up until the point I turned 50, but all of that was more, it felt good and I should do it, but it wasn't a conscious decision and choice until I was 50 to say, hey, what am I really going to contribute to this world? Or am I just another person struggling through my life and for all the turns on the planet that I happen to be here, is that all I'm going to do, or do I really on purpose want to do something? All right, that's it. Have an amazing day. Any questions, hit me up in the comments below. And let's see what we've got in store for tomorrow. Bye. Take care.